Hello all. Today I will be talking about the differences in personality and behavior between male and female parrots, from budgies and cockatiels to Connors and Quakers. The super quick answer: I have never been able to discern any difference in behavior or personality. Each bird is an individual. It all comes down to the time you spend together. But there are considerations, aren't there always? The rest of this video will be a deep dive into the physiological and behavioral differences, or differences in potential, for the genders. This all comes from years of observations and working with the birds here in the aviary. Not so much the breeding side, but the hundreds of adult surrenders and rescues that have come in, of tame, semi-tame, and untamed adult birds. This video is for those people who are serious about having the knowledge to make the best educated decision for them, their family, and their next bird. When people contact me about adopting, about 90% of them initially request a male. This is because that many people believe that while females are more affectionate, a male will be more outgoing, more sociable, prettier in feather, and less likely to have the reproductive issues connected with egg laying. And of course, the main reason. People believe that only males will talk. And for many people, the main draw of a parrot is their ability to talk. Not their value as a companion bird, but the trick sounds that they can make. This has become more of an issue in the last few years, mainly due to the resurgence of old beliefs, and of course, the many social media posts and videos of certain internet famous talking parrots. But I have been hearing about this for many years, long before the internet. Some years ago, I had a conversation with an old-timer in the pet store business, and he explained to me where he thought this started. He started out back in the 60s, back when bird breeding was decidedly old school. All but the most expensive of birds were parent-raised and sold through pet stores. Because of the way breeders worked, they would have many more males than females available for sale. This was because most aviaries were outdoors or in barns, farm style. Their breeding method was styled after the methods used for chickens and other avian livestock. There would only be one male for many females, and the females were bred continuously. Being outside or minimally sheltered, the continuous clutches and the rudimentary knowledge about diet, proper housing, and general bird health meant a high female mortality rate. Back then, they could fall under the category of acceptable losses. Not really a problem for them, as they could just keep the female babies that they had and use them for future cycles. This meant that they had more males available, and so a higher demand for males had to be created. But for modern ethical breeders, there is no such thing as acceptable losses, nor should there be. In my aviary here, males and females are available in equal numbers. But does gender really have a big influence on how friendly, pretty, talkative, or healthy a bird will be? The truth is that each bird is an individual, and individual differences overlap greatly with any potential gender differences. I have made posts highlighting this point before, and always get a heated response. Most of these responses are a variation of the same: I had a male bird before, and he was the friendliest bird. Yes, you had a male. I have about 100 males here in the aviary right now, breeding pairs, permanent residents, rescues, and surrenders. I have about the same number of females as well. I have had several of each bonded to me, including 2 bonded pairs, now a little long in the beak, that were the first birds I ever rescued. I also had hundreds of other rescues that I have worked with for weeks or months. And all that time, with all those birds, I have never been able to see any discernible difference between males and females. Well, at least outside of nesting or mating. There are differences, don't get me wrong, but they are slight differences. Slight differences of potential. It really does all come down to the time you spend together. But I will go over these slight differences. These slight visual differences, the slight behavior and personality differences, and the slight differences in vocalizations. Are you seeing the subtle pattern here? I'll also go into the differences in hormonal and mating behavior. and also the great fear of egg binding, and how to make that into what it should be, a non-issue. Firstly, the visual differences. Most parrots are what we call non-dimorphic, which means that males and females are identical in appearance. The exceptions to this are cockatiels, parrots, ringnecks, and to a lesser extent, budgies. Male cockatiels will have more red in their cheek patches, generally, and a larger and more visible yellow area. Male cockatiels born as a pearl will lose their pearl patterns when they mature, while females will keep it. Ringneck males will have the distinctive ring around their neck. Male parrotlets will have a little bit of a darker patch on their backs under their wings. Budgies have only a slight difference, that being the color of their ceres, the area around their nostrils, and only when they are hormonal. As for the other birds that I work with or have worked with here, the loveys, linneys, conners, sun conners, gendays, senegals, amazons, cakes, African greys, and cockatoos, there are no visual differences between male and female. The only way to determine gender is with a DNA blood test, or to wait for eggs. Even with cockatiels, budgies, and parrotlets, the only way to be totally sure is with a DNA test or the laying of eggs. If there was a way to reliably determine gender through personality, behavior, or talking ability, believe me, I wouldn't be spending all the money on sending out blood samples for testing. The differences in personality and behavior are mostly tied to differences in roles when it comes to mating and egg laying. Males have to attract females, and females are in charge of the nest, mostly. Males protect the nesting area, females protect the inside of the nest and deal with the babies, mostly. Again, for pet birds that are not actively mating and nesting, the differences will be slight, differences in potential. Males can be more vocal to seek out and attract a female. They can be more likely to have complicated songs, but this also means that they can be noisy all day, every day, making every noise or combination of noises that they know. Females can have a lower volume and longer periods of quiet. This does not mean that females won't sing or talk. My best talkers of all time have been a female cockatoo and a female Amazon. If you talk to them, females are just as likely to respond. Hey, bud. Hey. 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 They can and will learn words, phrases, and songs, and will repeat them mainly to connect with and please their people. While males might make more noise all day, females are more likely to talk with their people only when they are around. Again, these differences are slight, and individual differences with each bird will have a much greater influence than gender. Some males never talk or sing. Some females never stop. And just like the males can be more aggressive, females can be sassy and bossy. Males can be more territorial when hormonal, protecting the female and the area around the nest, and can show more territorial behaviors like strutting, bobbing, and fluffing up. But the females can be just as nippy if someone tries to go into their nest. Because males deal more with the outside, they can sometimes be more confident and outgoing. And since females deal more with babies, they can be more affectionate, spending more time preening and getting close to their people. The differences are slightly more than slight when it comes to full-on hormonal behavior towards their people. Females can get nippy, but they can also get more needy with affection. Again, engaging in more preening of their people. If a female has a place to nest, they can get broody and spend most of their time in the nest if there are eggs there or not. A hormonal male is no picnic either. They can be aggressive, jealous, or possessive. They can get bitey with you or with whatever they see as competition for your affection. And yes, a hormonal male can and will hump everything and anything, even regurgitating food and leaving it all around. That's a female singing over there. This leads into the greatest fear of many female bird owners. Female birds, not the owners. Egg laying and the possibility of egg binding. Now, Egg binding is the great big bogeyman of bird ownership online. I am here to tell you, I have hundreds of eggs laid here in my aviary every year, for many years now, and I've never had a single occurrence of egg binding. I am ready for it, I know how to deal with it, but it has never come up. Egg laying is a natural occurrence. A female bird's body is literally designed to safely and repeatedly lay eggs. With proper diet, proper housing, and free flight exercise, egg binding is not a common issue. Proper diet, the topic of a previous video, is the most important. Hormonal females especially have to get enough calcium, vitamins, and minerals. All birds should be fed chop and fresh foods, if not every day, then every second day, providing plenty of calcium. A mineral block or cuttlebone will give them that little bit extra. Don't forget about vitamin D, which a bird needs to be able to absorb the calcium, a topic of yet another one of my videos. There are also methods that can be used to reduce or even prevent the possibility of egg laying, such as regulating light exposure, changing diet, and not providing a nesting place. This also is something that I've gone into in a previous video, and we'll be going into more again in depth soon. When all is said and done, unless you're planning on breeding, the differences in gender is not as important as the bird's individual personality and how it was raised. Differences in behavior and personality between the genders are slight, more of a difference in potential, and each bird's individuality will overlap this greatly. If your bird is friendly, fun, and outgoing with their people, it really comes down to the time you spend together, time spent as companions.